G'day fellow motovloggers and everyone, it's Mulkey, the Suzuki Bandit on this Thursday afternoon come evening, about 24 degrees Celsius, very pleasant. I was just watching the news and there's a couple of things I want to comment on basically, and the first thing I'd like to comment on is the Chloe Smith. I understand if you're overseas, England, America, wherever, that you may not have heard about this, but it's a little girl, 4, was missing for 18 days. 18 days, and of course everyone would be thinking the same as me, that she probably wasn't alive, because the odds of her being alive were very low because, well, she was abducted. But yesterday they found her and she was well and alive, of course, alive and well, which is had the whole country of Australia have a big sigh of relief. Don't know what happened there. I don't know if he went into the tree or what, but anyway, the whole country just sighed a big sigh of relief that they found her. It was just a joyous moment that they found her. The odds of that happening were very, very low, but gee, it was good to see that they found her alive and well. I know it's been getting overseas coverage, but whether my overseas followers have heard of it. But what great news! She's back in her family's arms, and just everyone's so happy for him and her. There's one other thing that I want to mention too, and the reason I mention it is because I can remember this particular murder from 1993, where a lady who was working for a company called Sansa McDougall, which my mum worked for many years. They had a shop at Salisbury, on the outside of the Salisbury shopping centre, and she was murdered there, stabbed around 20 times. Now keep in mind, this was back in 1993, so it was a long time ago. And I just saw on the news that they've got the fella. They got the fella. They had blood samples there, but they couldn't match the DNA of those blood samples to this particular fella. They sort of had inklings that it was him. So what they did was they went and asked him for a DNA test, and he wouldn't give it to them, the police. So what they did is they got hold of a coffee cup that he had thrown into a bin and sent that away to get analysed for the DNA, and it was a match to the blood on the floor where this poor lady was killed in 1993, or murdered, allegedly. So there's been a couple of good pieces of news lately, folks. They've got that suspect in custody, and it certainly sounds like he's guilty, and I couldn't believe it. After all that time, they've actually got him. And like I said, the reason it rings a bell all the time and never gone away is because that was the company that my mum worked for many, many, many years. Sansa McDougall. So yeah, great news. So he's been out on the run for, what's that, 28 years. 28 years he's got away with it, but finally they caught up with him. So if you've ever done anything wrong, and they've got your DNA and they match it up, you're gone, mate. You're gone. I'll tell you another little story of someone. Probably about 20 years ago, there was a rape in Elizabeth, in the Elizabeth area, and they couldn't match any DNA up to any suspect, because the suspect obviously hadn't had any DNA taken to it and put into a database. Now, this particular person, I'm not going to name names or anything like that, did something wrong, well, something else wrong, whatever it was, I'm not sure, but they took the DNA and they ran it through the bank, the DNA matches or whatever they are, and they found it was him that was the rapist. This was 12 years after the rape, and consequently he got 12 years jail for it. So if you've done anything wrong and you haven't been caught, it's probably because they haven't got your DNA. But if they get it and there's a match, you're gone. So anyway, this is Bandit Nev on Samoki, the Suzuki Bandit, bidding you all very, very, very safe riding. And until next time, cheers for now.